Episode of Epic Sketch Time. This is the May 14th Mother's Day episode. Mother's Day was yesterday. I'm a freelance illustrator here in Tacoma, Washington. And with me today are some other fine gentlemen. If you will introduce yourself, guys.
Is this where I speak? Do I speak? Do you want me to go? Do you go? Who goes? I'll go.
It's usually done on whoever shows up first, Russ.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm Russ Richards. I'm also an artist based out of Washington, friends with Mark, and I do freelance art. Today I'll be working on a role-playing character in the Star Wars universe for a commission piece I got over the weekend. So, yeah, there we go.
I guess I'll go next. My name is Locke. I'm a freelance illustrator, I guess, at nighttime or on the weekend from Toronto, Canada. And right now I'm actually working on a t-shirt commission piece, a bunch of superhero clashing over a logo. There you go.
Nice.
And howdy, everybody. My name is Ian Castruita. You can find my artwork over at unfedartist.com. I'm an illustrator, graphic designer, and comic artist working out of Tempe, Arizona. And just slugging away at my webcomic today, trying to put out another strip that I am not going to publish yet. But thanks for watching, nonetheless.
And let me go ahead and share what I'm going to be working on. Let's see, where's that button? There we go, found it. Does anyone here recognize
No.
this little gem? This alien is from the horrible, horrible B movie called The Giant Claw. The Giant Claw was basically a career killer. To give you, it was a typical pretty good B movie right up to the special effects, because whoever the studio was hired this brand new special effects studio. I don't know where they got these guys' names. So all the actors had been looking at, the equivalent of a tennis ball, going, "Oh my God, I can't believe that." They were playing it so straight. Look, it's mind-boggling. And then what you had for the alien creature, which is supposed to be flying at supersonic speeds, was basically this sad marionette of a vulture with a saggy neck, and it was beyond, and fluffy, little fluffy feathers coming out of its skull. Hardly, the type of thing that drifts in the wind. So here's this thing that's supposed to be going supersonic, and an arrow, the fluffy arrows on top of his head are flopping forward. And the actors did not see this until it went up on the screen. They went to the opening, and they saw this thing come up, and the audience died laughing. The cast members, the guy who was the lead in the movie, he left the movie before the film ended, went to the nearest bar, and got blind drunk.
That's awesome.
Now, Mara
Your screen, Mark? I'm not seeing anything except.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine. We get to see you, but you're describing something that I can't see. So.
Yeah, well, here I am talking about light, fluffy hair in my hair.
You could be talking about yourself. We know.
Okay, where's damn?
He kind of resembled that description he just gave. So
Yeah,
it's possible.
I'm like, this is Mark's best illustration yet.
Oh, I know.
Okay, there we go.
Oh my goodness.
So this is the giant claw, and of course you would see these giant claws come in and attack, jet airplanes and what have you. But oh yes, this, if you look at these hairs up here. If you ever see a YouTube video of this thing, this is Mystery Science Theater 3000 material all over it. But had they done some decent special effects, this would have been one of the major movies because it was following the same plot as them and all these other things. All the in-house studio stuff was, right in keeping. But anyway, Bill texted me, and I was going to resend him this link because apparently he is having a difficulty getting in. As is known to happen sometimes.
Yeah, just part of the epic sketch time experience.
Exactly. So your T-shirt design there, Locke. What all characters you got going on?
Well, the client wanted.
Oh, that's awesome.
he wanted like Captain America, Wolverine, Batman, Superman, and I think a bunch of other ones. But it's due yesterday.
Oh yeah, they always are.
They're trying to get these are just T-shirt that will say staff on it.
Oh, okay.
And I just placed their logo temporarily right now because I don't really know. That's why everything's on a separate layer. And right now I'm just going to go in and do a color flat. Then I'll start painting the effects, the lasers coming out of Superman's eye to the shield, that kind of stuff. So that's the next thing. But yeah, they haven't given me any specification on size yet.
Oh, okay.
Everything like really large just in case, then I can scale down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that it's every time I do something, my computer is kind of like slow.
For sure.
It's like 36 inches by 28, I think, or something like that. Something ridiculous at like 400 dpi.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Just in case, right? Just in case.
For sure.
Is there any copyright issues with using those characters, or is it all clear?
Apparently, it's they're like a Comic-Con kind of thing. They've been paying for licensing.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only thing. They some sort of licensing thing they did, but I don't know if they're allowed to do these characters fighting each other and all that stuff, right? But it's gonna be on like staff T-shirts and just for one event. I think it's Pop Culture, Fan Expo that's coming up, which is sometime soon or something like that. And that's pretty much it. After that, it's done, right? So
it's not like they're for sale. They're kind of like they're for the staff to be wearing. So I guess if it was being sold, it'd be a different story.
Yeah. That's also something,
Yeah.
Gentlemen, Bill finally has joined us. So, Bill, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Morse. I'm a cartoonist working out of Seattle, Washington, and I also do a webcomic called Rhapsodies, which you can find at wpmorse.rhapsodies.com. And this was a very entertaining last couple 15 minutes.
Having too much fun, Bill?
Sort of. For a second, for a few minutes, I was beginning to think I was unwanted. Was the Facebook thing an experiment, Mark, or did it just not go through the mail in the first time?
I think it just didn't get through to your mail, Bill. I sent it to you twice. And everybody else got Russ. I sent the link to him directly because he was anxious to get in even before I sent out.
What's funny is like I can't get on via the email, but every time you send it to me via Facebook, it works. But if any other way that I try to get the link to work, like Twitter or like email or anything, it won't let me on. But if you send it to me Facebook, I can jump in, no problem.
For me, it's sort of 50-50 on how well I get it. some of the times it goes into the slush file, and sometimes it comes to my address as it should. But this time it wasn't either of them.
Yeah, Bill, you were having some problems for a long time, and then we've had the longest run of good luck with you getting in.
Yeah, I mean, before it was the fault of my dying computer, and as soon as I upgraded, all the problems that I was using all my colorful language over went away.
Well, you're here now. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Seems like every time we have that discussion, it kind of leads to that infomercial saying of there has to be a better way. It seems like there's always some kind of issue going on with getting people to get on Epic Sketch Time. There has to be a better way.
Ian, can you try turning down the volume on your speakers? We're getting a little bit of feedback here.
Feedback? All right, gotcha.
Yeah, you didn't comment on me, but I lowered mine just to be on the safe side too.
Okay. So, Ian, try saying something now. Ian? Ian, we can't hear you now.
Now you kicked him off, man. What you doing?
Oh, no, he's muting. Don't mute, Ian. Ian, just say something. Okay. Now he's just ignoring us. That's... Maybe he's busily trying to find where the volume is. He certainly found the mute button. That's a nice job. But how can we see what he's drawing unless he says something?
Right.
So, Russ, talk to us about what you're drawing today. This was a commission that came in yesterday?
Yeah, I got it yesterday at Fantasticon, which is a fantastic show.
Oh, my God. Fantasticon, yeah.
No, it was cool. Like, this kid came up. I guess this is his like role-playing character that he plays in a Star Wars D&D type thing, and he gave me his whole spreadsheet, told me her whole backstory. I guess she's not a stormtrooper, but I guess she's like modified the stormtrooper uniform and wears it for protection, and she has, let's see, a vibro blade in one hand and a Katoris sword in another. And I guess each one has its own unique thing. Like, man, this guy was very passionate about like what his character has to be holding, how the belts are sitting. And it had to be not like he wanted the Knights of the Old Republic helmet, but he wanted to make sure that the armor was the New Order armor from the new movie, because I guess there's some whole huge crossover in his universe that's why it's there. Anyways, very interesting. Was an awesome guy to talk to. Knows Star Wars well beyond anybody I've ever met. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you in the Northwest, Fantasticon is held at the La Quinta Inn in wonderful scenic Tacoma.
This year they held it at the technical college.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, they must have expanded out, given them room.
But the whole front of the college is under construction, and nobody could find the place. That was like the best part.
As you can imagine, last year when I did Fantasticon, Russ would know that I was there. I told him about it.
Yeah.
You had like the worst spot ever.
Yes, I did.
Out in the hallway at the very end of the hallway.
Yeah.
And a fairly okay size, but it was a thinly attended show, would be kind to describe it. And another way to describe it would be tumbleweeds.
It was like that this time too.
That once was enough for me. I was a little surprised that you went back to it, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a cheap table, and it gave me something to do for the weekend.
See, and I have like housework and other my own pet projects. I think you would have been better off making product to sell at other conventions rather than having to crunch time it ahead of
Yeah, it's true.
But
then I won't get to draw this awesome new Star Wars piece.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I got to meet all kinds of new people.
Doing a commission piece after the fact, I gotta admit, that's a nice bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing I can probably guarantee is that Russ is making a fan for life, and I mean that pays dividends down the road. So you can't ignore that.
Exactly, I like it.
So if you ever need to have somebody take you to the airport or help you move to your new apartment, you could probably call this guy up.
Exactly.
Boy, you guys really are young. I'm in that age group where none of my friends can lift anything.
Is that why you're friends with me, Mark? Is so in case you move, I can help you move?
I can move. I can lift stuff. It's just that I don't have a car.
This is what I have to deal with. People like Bill who don't have cars. But no, I'm to the stage now where you hire movers. You just bite that bullet because there's no way you can lure anyone in, regardless of how much pizza and beer you offer them. I had another friend of mine who was, in my age bracket and he had planned to move, and all of his friends said, yeah, I'll show up. And he had I think 25 people lined up, and they all bailed on him.
Whoa.
I've never had a fail like that before. Generally, everybody who promises me does it.
Well, you're still young, Bill. It's sort of like, I think what happened was his friends all realized, oh, I'm that age. And they talked to their spouse, and the spouse says, you're not lifting that. You're not lifting any fridges this weekend. What the hell? You remember that trip to the hospital last week? That's not going to happen.
Oh, man.
So if you're going to be moving in the near future, I have 3 wonderful suggestions for you. Get rid of your particle board furniture now, because that stuff is just way too heavy. A lot of furniture places, moving people, they won't even move particle board. Too heavy. Second bit of advice, save up that slush fund so you can hire those movers. And my third piece of advice is, really, I'm honest here, do number 2, save up that money for those movers, because that's so going to happen to you.
This seems to be a trigger for you, Mark. Have you had a bad experience?
No, like I said, it was my.
Don't get me started on movers.
I am loathing.
I have no friends. They left me behind.
Well, that's one of the few dividends about being depressed about having friends with teenage children is said teenage children are more than happy to show off their machismo that you can exploit.
I don't remember seeing any of those teenage children the last time I helped you move, Bill. By the way, that was the last time I was going to help you move. Just to let you know.
I take it back. Actually, you did see them the last time you helped me move. It was just at the time they were hyperactive 8-year-olds. So none of this revisionist history here, dude.
I only remember one other guy. There was an 8-year-old in there.
His wife and the 2 kids showed up after the fact.
Oh, you mean after I helped you move?
After we were having the pizza, yeah.
So let me get this right. Friends you who are coming over to help you move, after everything was all moved in, they showed up with their 2 children and ate your pizza.
No, he showed up and had it. He showed up. He earned his pizza. His wife showed up later.
Oh, okay. Just want to be clear here. I'm trying to get my history down, just so. But the last time I moved was probably before some of you guys were born. That's about 25 years ago.
I'm 38, so I think I passed that one. But
Oh yeah, you were still in grade school though.
yeah.
I would have been useful at the time, though I was still living. Though I think I was still in Rhode Island at the time, so same difference.
Just so we're clear, I'm still, pretty young and spry, but I'm not going to help any of you guys move. I don't know you that well. So let's just be clear about that. I don't care how much pizza or beer. I live way too far away from everyone. So
yeah.
Me out.
How convenient. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like, Phoenix is so spread out. I don't meet my friends anyway, so might as well do the cyber thing with the Washingtonians.
There we go. That's what Epic Sketch Time is all about. It's planning ahead.
I'm curious, who was the last one in here to move? Was it you, Bill? When did you move into your apartment?
This new place, it's getting on towards 3 years now, so it might have been me.
I moved to Washington last November.
Do we have anyone else that can beat Russ?
No, not at all.
Now, Russ, where did you move? You came in from out of state, didn't you?
Yeah, I came from Southern California.
Because we all know that the illustration market is fantastic in Southern California. What the hell brought you up here?
My wife helps kids with special needs, and I was doing animation for a short while out there. And like I said, the gigs started drying up, and a lot of the jobs are going overseas. And so I started teaching animation on a high school level. And then she got recruited by a recruiter up here for special needs kids, like a school. And we were kind of just done with the whole California thing anyways, because I'm originally from Salt Lake, so we moved to California. But I grew up in California from when I was 10. And then I moved away right out of high school. Anyways. But yeah, we were just kind of done. We were there for about 2 years, and just it's too expensive. It's just overpopulated. It's to go 30 miles to my job in Burbank, it took me 2.5 hours. It just wasn't worth it. So
on top of all that, it's California.
Yeah. It does have its merits. I mean, we lived literally 6 blocks away from Disneyland, so we would go to Disneyland all the time. But that's all we ever did. That's all we could afford to do. So we got passes, and we would just go to that. Never do anything.
My sister seems to like it, but
yeah,
the way I see it, I'm a northern boy. I need winters.
Yeah. But we like it here. It's fun. It's a good place. Good place to live.
I was living in Orange County for 6 years.
Oh, okay. That's right. I think we talked about that because I grew up in Lake Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't the only thing I miss about California is the weather. I don't miss the traffic. Going to Burbank was a nightmare.
Yes, and it's just gotten worse. It's not any better.
Yeah.
I feel like every year it just gets worse and worse.
Every time we do a film shoot, those long hours, you got to plan 2.5 hours just to get there.
Yeah.
For a while, I was doing a video work in Carlsbad where I'd go in and do whiteboard videos, and I'd always fly in and then drive up the day before because, like you said, you never can tell what the traffic's going to be like. Thankfully, there's 2 flights leaving San Diego roughly at the same time, or about an hour or so different. So if I got done with a day shoot early, and if traffic was good, I could possibly make it in there fast enough that for $75, if there was a space available, I could get on an earlier flight.
I rather liked San Diego the one time I was there. This may sound silly, but it came off like it had the vibe of a Californian Republican Seattle. i.e. with the coastal military thing.
San Diego and most places is not bad, but if you have to work in Hollywood or anywhere around the studios, it's just stupid.
Yes, like ridiculous. My favorite part was always driving through Tent City or the Couch City, like that just have random couches out all over the road, and yeah.
Hey, that's when I crashed a few times.
Yeah.
You don't drive like I ran into a guy who just like at nighttime, he just throws something on the road, right?
Yeah.
Like, just so he could stop your car and try to steal something out of your car, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
No.
You guys are talking about California?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like Hollywood area, like
it's just like crap downtown. Like
Yeah.
what you see in the movie is like just portions of it. You know, like when they shoot a scene of the guys driving down like Little Saigon or Chinatown, but it's really out in Fountain Valley, and he turns the corner and he's in the LA hills, right? That's not really, that's edited together. The Hollywood sign is not in the same place as wherever they shoot these movies and stuff.
Yeah, well, it was funny. I was actually watching Eating Raoul last night, and it was showing just how much of a pit the rest of Hollywood is.
Yeah.
And Eating Raoul's from the 80s, so that was 80s pit LA. Who knows what it would look like now?
I'm told they've cleaned it up some, but who knows?
it's like one of the only places that like there was a Jack in the Box that when I first started working down in Burbank, the Jack in the Box literally had bars on its windows. Like like really a fast food restaurant had bars on its windows. Nuts. Yeah.
It's funny because I've being from back east, I've had my share of crappy neighborhoods with bars or glass.
Yeah.
I remember one of the reasons I had a rather scary experience in when I went through Detroit on my way up here, where the gas station had bars in what seemed like an otherwise suburban neighborhood, and I pretty much got the heck out of there before I found out why.
Bill, were you driving?
It's 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you behind the wheel of a vehicle. That's why it shocks me.
Oh, I used to have a old Subaru back in the day.
One of those wagons?
Yeah. Did the whole Find America shtick on the way up here. It was a nice trip. There was with some interesting details.
So what happened to your Subaru? Did you sell it? Or you on the side of the road someplace?
I sold it for parts. Regrettably, it died on me. With the what it was, the band broke.
The timing belt?
Yeah, timing belt.
Yeah.
You sold it for parts because of that?
No, it wasn't going anywhere.
It's such a cheap part to replace, though.
Not when it takes out the entire engine beforehand.
Oh well, okay. So you had more problems than a timing belt.
Right.
Did you have thrown a rod when you threw the timing belt, or?
I do not know.
Okay.
I used to work at a workplace, and we were couriers, and so every time a car would break, it was just like an inside joke. It's like, well, it looks like your Johnson rod got thrown. It's funnier because it's an inside joke, but I mean, it's just like, oh, what happened? Was it your Johnson rod?
Oh shit!
I just always say it. That was my trigger, everybody. The rod.
Right on.
So there's been a recent death in my family.
Oh, condolences, sir.
Oh, yeah, so my uncle on my wife's side had a massive stroke a few weeks back, and
Ooh.
That's awful.
he's been battling cancer for over a dozen years. So I might be having to take off and be in Denver and be unable to host Epic Sketch Time. Did anyone else want to take over hosting duties?
I can barely get it to come on my computer.
The silence is deafening, so
Uh,
I will keep you guys appraised.
okay.
Wait, we're talking next week.
I have no idea. I have no idea. The family in Denver is getting together this week to discuss about when it would be happening. And, it could fall on Memorial Day, in which case no big shakes because we don't meet on federal holidays anyway.
Right.
But
Considering I probably wouldn't have been, even if we did, I would have probably bowed out because I'd be probably recovering from folk life after that.
for those of you who are not in the know, Folk Life is a music festival here in in Seattle, Washington.
And I do lots and lots of slice of life drawings. It's a nice workout to give if anybody is.
Maybe you should start doing caricatures, Bill. Get some commission work going.
I think the guys that have all those booths have a monopoly on it.
Go work for him.
And silence from Bill. Now, it's the reason I was asking is if situations change and I can't host Epic. I was just wanting to know if there was anyone else who could take over.
But anyway, this is what I was talking about for the stuff I've been doing for the last couple of years while I'm there. It is. Is
that the Monday? This Monday coming up?
No, that is. Oh, this is. Oh, I've been doing it that long. It's no, it's the. I believe it's that Monday is the 1st, I think. Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. I think it's I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it's the 28th, I think. But it's coming up. But anyway, it's kind of like jogging, and with some of these crowd scenes, I frequently I feel like I'm improvising almost as much as the dancers are.
Is it just a folk music festival?
Folk music, folk dance, folk tales.
Tends to be a lot of bluegrass and stuff.
Oh, bluegrass, bluegrass, Zydeco. You occasionally see some what's it called? That Brazilian martial arts that I'm blanking on right now.
Jiu-jitsu?
Capoeira?
Capoeira, yeah. I almost said Alhambra for a second. Boy. Yeah, capoeira demonstrations, food. It's half the city is going to be there.
Food.
So if you would take a look at my screen right now, you will see the majestic creature, which is the giant claw. Take a look at this guy. Is
that a stick puppet, or is it a stick puppet?
It is like the worst marionette puppet you've ever seen.
It looks like a Muppet.
Oh,
Yeah, it does. It looks like that creature from what you call it, the Dark Crystal.
so look at those. Look at those turkey feather wings. Just,
And the screen went
that looks like something that Sid and Marty Krofft would make.
the screen went blank. But,
No, I could still see you. Russ, are you there? Oh, we lost Russ.
I see Russ's picture, but I don't hear him.
Yeah. Oh, a quick question. These things that I've been working on today here are buttons for this web page, for my the character buttons on my just a second. On these buttons right here, and based on that size, do you think I should bother with tone or anything, or does this do the trick?
Right now, your screen is blank on my end.
I could see it, Bill.
I could see it too. Say something, Bill.
Something, Bill. But anyway, as I said,
how is it going to be used, Bill? Are you putting it on your website, or are you actually making buttons?
I'm putting. They're going to be buttons. These buttons here. See?
Oh,
and
those.
Because of that, is there any point in doing any shading with these things?
Well, I would prefer seeing these scaled to size. Is there any way you can, like, scale them down and actually, like, let us see how that's kind of close?
Probably like that.
Yeah, I think you need to up the contrast. Like, especially for the full color ones, the black and whites with the color background are popping the most. I'd almost tell you to just go with that.
Real quickly, I'm going to show you these guys. It's the movie poster artwork that came out. As you can see, some winged creature, and maybe kind of eaglish looking, but very sleek and airstream. And then you went from this and you get this. The audiences were not happy. I mean, look at that. Looks like a feather duster for a tail there.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like something that a ventriloquist would be entertaining the kids with.
And here's that forward flopping hair on something that's supposed to be going at supersonic speed. So, oh, geez, yes. Yes, horrific. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out what colors to go with it.
Go with what the poster does. The red, the orange.
I think I will. Maybe I'll go with a yellow head, yellow beak, and a kind of yellow neck. This is supposed to be a ruff of feathers, but I drew this from memory, and all I remember was how horrible it looked like a turkey vulture. So I just drew globby flesh.
That's an insult to turkey vultures.
So I'm wondering if I should, change that to make it look a little bit more accurate, or if I should just go with it. I should probably take another look.
You said you drew that from memory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I drew it from memory because I've seen it a number of times. Oh, Russ is sending me texts.
Did Russ fall off completely?
I'm going to write back to him. It's just him. Yeah, it looks like he fell off completely. He says he's going to try to get back on. So, has everybody seen the latest Avengers movie yet?
I have.
Yep.
And I saw some social media post that was like, it was a spoiler filled thing, but like somebody in the comments said that, if you haven't seen that movie yet, it's your own fault. Which I was like, some people don't have the opportunity to just rush to the movie theater. And I was thinking of Bill at the time, because you said your friend doesn't like the crowds and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, seeing it within the second week was a record for him.
Yeah.
But I was pleasantly surprised because, I mean, the trailer didn't impress me enough to, if it wasn't for seeing genre films from my friends, I pretty much regarded it as DVD material.
No kidding, really?
I was happy that it was much better than I anticipated. I mean, my general attitude was, this isn't really doing anything for me, but I have faith in the Russo brothers.
Are you a Marvel Universe fan? I mean, have you been keeping up? Are you excited about like the other films that are coming out? I mean,
yes and no. I mean, obviously, I grew up on Marvel comics, so at the very least, I'm sentimental about them, and I like how, even though I may be slightly burnt out, I'm still more than happy to give them the benefit of the doubt. And so, for example, I probably wasn't quite as worked up about what everybody is saying don't tell us about at the end of the movie, because I read the comic book in 92.
Yeah, they're not going to keep with that continuity, though. I mean, they're changing it up a little bit, right?
They already haven't, but the key detail, I am comfortably sure, will remain.
Yeah. I think we could all safely say the Avengers win in the end. Let's not kid ourselves.
The biggest thing is that...
As you can see, Russ is...
I'm sorry, everyone. Oh, God, I did it.
Spoiled it. The Avenger wins? What?
I know. How could it happen?
The other thing is that the problem will also be the solution.
Do you need therapy now, Locke? I'm sorry.
Yeah. My wife tells me I need therapy all the time.
Well, now you have a reason. I mean, Ian just ruined it all for you. Is Russ back with us, or?
Yeah, like I don't like.
Dude, you're so quiet, man.
No, I was just listening.
Chirp in.
Well, they could. Well, if I really want to make up for blowing the ending, it's probably going to go like this. Well, after we wrestle the gauntlet from with Thanos, we'll use the time gem to bring it back here, and like so.
Yeah, the most intriguing thing about that whole thing is that you said it Thanos, not Thanos, and I'm just like, really, Thanos? Like, how is it supposed to be said? I thought it was Thanos for the longest time.
It might be. I've
always heard it as Thanos.
Thanos, no kidding. We need to start a poll.
I like it.
It was always Thanos when I was growing up.
And let's just be clear. I mean, you're northeast, right? You're like Maine and everything.
Yeah, we have very soft vowels. So.
There we go. Well, let's test the water. When you buy a can of Coca-Cola or Pepsi, what do you refer to it as? What's your colloquialism?
Is it a pop?
Or is it soda pop?
I generally go with soda. Though I've seen that map about the regionalisms apparently in the South it's always Coke no matter what it is. Or
yeah, absolutely.
It's even more regional with a certain kind of sandwich.
What sandwich is that?
The long ones with lots of meat in them.
A sub?
Yeah, but in Rhode Island they're grinders.
What?
Their grinders?
What?
R-I-N-D-E-R, grinder.
So just to circle back here, you're saying that if Thanos was going to have lunch, he would be taking a grinder with a soda?
No, with a Coke.
He was invading New York City, so he'd probably go with a sub or a hero.
Okay.
I forget which one it is. Probably a sub.
God, have I been saying it wrong this whole time? I mean, I was just like Thanos. I mean, Thanos sounds more aggressive to me. It's just like Thanos is like, yeah, maybe he's from Europe or something. I don't know.
Well, it's always popular to give your villains a British accent, so who knows?
Now, going back to reality, what do you think about the actor who played it?
I thought I was very happy with Rollins' performance. It was sort of like everybody's complaint about Ultron in the second Avengers movie. Well, that
was James Spader, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like James Spader. I like him from The Office.
Is he the one that dyed his hair?
No. That's Creed. Earlier today, me and Mark were talking about how he needs to dye his hair, and I said that if he dyed his hair black, he'd look like Creed.
Can we get a Photoshop of that, please?
Right?
Somebody. Oh, how did that even come up?
I was mentioning that I was going to be going in for a haircut, and the last time I was in for a haircut, the gal I go to a haircut for is my wife's stylist. And she's been trying to convince both her husband and me to get our hair darkened. And the reason she does this is she gets paid more for the dye jobs. And she charges a huge amount for my wife's hair. And I go to this gal, spend a tremendous amount for a haircut, a really unreasonable amount. But it's because she does such a great job on my wife's hair, and I want to support her. And, that's been going to her for, like 15 years. But I just might end up going in there and finding myself walking out with darker hair just because she felt like it. So, and so I brought up the topic,
Hello, Jimmy.
Oh, we got somebody new.
Whoa.
It was like a train. We're picking up passengers along the way. It's great.
We're so way off topic. We started out with Thanos, and
somebody
hoagies and subs, and then we went to The Office, and now we have new people.
Next stop, adventure. All
yes.
Right. Let's go. Jimmy, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, though.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
Oh.
You want to do some introductions and tell us what you're working on?
I'm working on a commission pay, just a ballpoint pen commission. Hi, I'm Jimmy LaDraff on Facebook, I guess. Yeah, I'm just a freelance 2D artist. Hi.
Hi, I'm Mark Monlux, and I'm working on a deck of playing cards. I have one out already for obscure movie monsters, and next deck is going to be for obscure movie aliens.
Is it for this exercise? Is it moral to improve on the original design?
Bill, let everybody else introduce themselves. Then we'll get back into the ethical quandary of improving on monsters on the movies.
Okay, I'm Bill. I cartoonist in Seattle.
I'm Russ. I'm an illustrator in Washington.
I'm Batman.
That was awesome.
Sorry. Couldn't help it. I'm a block. I'm from Toronto, and I'm somebody.
And I'm Ian. I'm an illustrator and a cartoonist working out in Tempe, Arizona. Have you been on Epic Sketch Time before, Jimmy?
Once.
Okay.
But it's been a while, though.
Well, what part of the country are you working from?
I live in South Korea.
I knew you.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I've seen like some amazing work from you. You had like that beautiful, like anime girl that you put up, right? Or was that somebody else?
My style is anime, but I don't know. Was that me?
I'm sorry. All I remember was about the last time you were here, where you were telling me the name of that traditional Korean dress.
That was me. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, Jimmy. Good to see you.
Hi. So, what are you guys talking about today?
We're ruining movies.
Pretty much.
Have you seen the new Avengers movie, Jimmy? Or
I have not.
is it out in South Korea?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the big question of the day. The main villain. How do you say his name? Do you know who I'm talking about?
How do you say it? Is
Well,
that supposed
that's the question, right? Like, how do you say it?
He's being put off because he doesn't. He uses a short nasal A as opposed to the soft long A that everybody else uses.
It's okay. We're all professionals, Jimmy. You can feel comfortable here.
No, you say it. Say it.
Oh, okay. All right. I give up. So I say Thanos, but Bill is saying it Thanos.
Oh.
And I thought it was
Okay.
Thanos.
Okay, I don't
Am
think
I in the
I don't
minority
think
here?
either one.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you're killing me here.
Denied tiebreaker.
I need somebody on my camp. Come on. All right, Jimmy, the next big question of the day. When was the last time you helped somebody move? Because that's killing people over here.
The last time I helped somebody move, like physically.
No, spiritually. What do you want from us?
Yeah, help. When was the last time you helped someone move to a new apartment or a new house?
I think like 3 years ago.
See?
Possibly 4.
And I'm
Am I supposed to remember this? Is this normal? Like,
sadly, I think it is.
She's like, I'm never coming back.
And we just lost Jimmy. Jimmy, Jimmy, hello.
Maybe I just don't know a lot of friends. Wow. Not a lot of my friends moved in the past recent years.
Well, here's the big question: are they all like young, or that? Because I think that was the point of contention. Like we were talking about moving, and Mark was like, "God, I could tell you're all young because you help people move. It's not something that old people do."
Us just being nice people.
Well, I don't know. Am I considered young? I guess I'm not old, but I'm not like in college.
You're very ambivalent about any answer. Are you young? Are you old? Who can tell? We don't know.
I'm 26.
Are you actually in South Korea? You committed to that too early, I think. Where are you?
I'm in South Korea.
Okay.
It's currently like almost 9:30 in the morning.
Ooh.
Wow. Good morning. Jeez.
Good morning.
And it's like Tuesday, huh?
And
remember that it's Tuesday, but yes, it's Tuesday.
Wow, she's like talking to us from the future. Can you tell me what the lotto numbers are?
Yeah, I need that too, please.
Wow, this is sort of like the same issue I have whenever I'm doing graphic artist meetings, where I'm the only West Coaster, and so they're having a nice relaxed lunch while I have to wake up.
Yeah. One of the pains of working out in the West.
Okay, so to answer the question of how to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Are we getting an answer? Go ahead.
Okay, well, in Korea, the pronunciation is Thanos.
Nice.
Oh, no kidding.
Thanos. Oh, yeah, that's nice.
So it's like different from whatever you guys say. What was it, like Thanos and
Well, let's see. Ours was
Thanos?
Thanos and Thanos.
Thanos and Thanos?
Yeah, because I mean, the official rule that is that there's too many exceptions of is if there's only one consonant after it, the vowel is
Right.
says its name, but if it's two, it's the soft. And since Thanos has only one N, ergo it's Thanos.
But doesn't that, make sense if it's sticking to American rules?
Yeah.
Like American English rules?
I think
Because
yeah. What's the Queen's English say, Bill?
I assume that was the Queen's English.
Hello, I'm the Queen.
Somebody just do an impersonation of the Queen.
I'm trying.
The proper Queen impersonation is much
It
more.
was uncanny.
Oh!
I thought we had another guest on Epic Sketch Time. Yeah, as a person who's seen the films and has bought them, I should know how to say it, right? Like, I'm sure the characters don't not say the name. I'm gonna boot that up. It has to be in Guardians of the Galaxy or something.
Yeah.
I'll get to the bottom of this.
Well, even in the newest trailer, they talk about it. So.
I have a
Google
feeling
this.
I'm just the odd man out here. I'm feeling this is just my bad, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it feels good not to be the odd man out dialect-wise for a change. Remember, frequently at one of my cartoonist groups, certain people get on my case for pronouncing father correctly.
Mm.
Father.
No, rather correctly.
Oh, whoa.
Because I was about to say,
Calm down. Wait, did you say it? Say it again.
Rather.
Rather?
Rhymes with father because they're spelled the same.
Wow.
I would just say dad. That would go a lot.
Or
Yeah,
Pop. Hey, Pop.
Just skip that
I
completely.
would never call my dad Pop.
No?
No, oh my God, never. How disrespectful, Pop.
Oh, that's a term of endearment. I call my dad Pop all the
in
time.
Midwest, isn't it, Pop?
I honestly
It's 5:30.
don't think I remember ever any
The
hearing.
robots telling us we're done, guys.
It is 5:30 now. I'll leave you guys up and running if you want to keep going. I gotta do some dishes in the other room.
Yeah, I gotta get going too. Hey, great episode, guys. Thanks for correcting my grammar and
Spoiling the movie for me.
yeah,
How
I'm
did
sorry.
you pronounce it in the movie?
It was surprising. It was much better than I expected.
Jimmy, thank you for joining us, even if it was just for a few minutes here on yet another episode of Epic Sketch Time. And I'll see you guys all next week.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
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 Bye.